Okay, I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that I did make it back to the base. Inside the chest here I have all of the loot that we got out of that run. As you can see, I have everything marked here on the left hand side, although I did eat a few pieces of bread or use up a few of the materials. This was pretty much the take from that first run. So a pretty good amount of materials to use, and I'll go ahead and put these to use in making some of the new stuff and additions that I'll be showing you in some of the video, not only this video but some of the other videos that are coming up. Okay, I also wanted to show you guys the last couple of things that I'm going to do to the starting area that I believe you should have done before you really kind of start exploring your world. We've got our shelter here in case we die. We've got plenty of materials now. We're going to have both of the chests stocked, one up in the tree fort and the one down here in the quarry. As you can see, I've been working in the quarry a little bit, just expanding it to get more materials. There's a couple more things I want to do before I can set out and really start exploring my world. Now I just hit dawn, so I'm going to run out here, and hopefully I don't have too many creatures out here looking for me. I'm going to run to the sand a second. Alright. So I've been expanding a few things, and one of the things that I like to put in is a farm, which at the starting area, which is really easy to have some food, just in case if when I come back here there's no pigs in the area for me to slaughter, or I don't want to fish, or I don't have any of the other materials, then I can go ahead and use this farm that I'm going to leave here as a good food production area. So what I did is I went ahead and started it so that you can kind of see what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to just film a little bit of me finishing it off and how that works. And hopefully I don't get jumped by a creeper or any other thing while I'm trying this out. So as you can see, I have some cobblestone here. I made some half steps that I'm using for pathways, and I'm just trying to put a few things in that make the place look aesthetically better. I'm by no means a great architect of things in Minecraft, so one of the things you're probably not going to see from me are giant mega objects, although I wish I had that talent. I do not. But I do have practical things. So I have my farm here I'm going to put. I'll have a door that lets me come in. I have a fence that surrounds the area to keep out the farm animals. One of the things you have to do with the farm is try to keep all animals and things off of the farmed or tilled land. I need light sources to make sure everything glows fairly well, so I have several columns for light. Eventually this will all be enclosed. I have several pieces of land that I should be able to farm from where I'm standing. And I also have a part of water in there to allow this to become kind of saturated with water. If the land you're farming on is near water, it tends to grow better than if I just farm here where there is no water. So as you can see, it's kind of modular. I can build on more of these if I want to continue on. I can either go further to the, I believe that's the east, or I could go further north if I wish to continue to build this farm bigger. If this is going to be a main area where I'm going to be, I might enclose it completely with glass. But in the case of this being the starter area, I'll probably just use the fence and call it pretty good. So I've dug out my next channel. This is where the next set of water is going to go. I have my next set of land here, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my cobblestone walkway. So for now, I'll just go ahead and complete this. And I'm using 2 spaces on the ends at the moment to give me plenty of room. for walking and to allow my columns. If I want to expand this farm, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and knock this out and then continue making more segments. I'll also need to place my dirt. Now, one thing you need is seeds for farming. So one thing you want to keep in mind, the way you get seeds is to use a hoe, which I have here. And with a left mouse click, it just does a digging, kind of similar to other tools, although not effective. But a right mouse turns it into a tilled land. And if you do that on a grassy area, you'll see sometimes seeds pop up. And that will allow me to replant them in the area that is ready for seeds. Usually I don't do that right until I'm finished building, because that way if animals get in here, they're not trampling all over everything. So I'll go ahead and wait for that. But one thing you can do while you're building is, if you know you're going to be placing something over some area, like I'm about to put some dirt here, I could just go ahead and look for seeds real quick while I do that. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off. That's where my fence will go. So I can go ahead and continue to make my fence here. What I'm doing is placing each fence post next to one that's already created. When you first start a piece of fence, if it's the very first one that you've started, say for example this spot right here, I'll go ahead and start it right here. You'll see it's just a fence post, and that's kind of how I did those support structures on my house there. And then as I move to the next block, it creates the fence. To make fences, I'll show you that in the crafting area here in a minute. I'll go back and I'll explain how I did that. And I'm just going to fill this part in just to make everything look pretty good. Now I could let that fill in with grass before I put the fence post on, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the fence post on. That'll be good enough for what we're doing. Hopefully I have enough. If not, I'll go back and make some more. Alright, so I do need a few more. It looks like I need a couple more pieces. So I can run back and do that real quick. You will need sticks to make a fence. So I'll use my crafting table here real quickly. And I have just a few sticks. Let's see if I even have enough. Alright, I think I needed 2. Just in case, I'll make an extra 2. There we go. Now I can go place those. A couple more things that I'm probably going to be doing here after I finish this farm area is I want to go ahead and create some tools for me to explore the new world with. So I'm going to go ahead and use up some of that iron I have found, and I will make things like iron picks, iron swords, possibly iron armor if I have enough. I will also probably use the gold to make a compass, and I will probably make a fishing pole, and I also need a bow. So those are some of the things I'm going to make here pretty soon so that I can actually move on from this area and continue. So now I have my area here, and I'm going to go ahead and plant these while I can. Let them start growing. Eventually, completed crops will look like this yellow color. So at that point, you can just left click them and it pops right up. Sometimes you get more seeds, sometimes you don't. Now I can replant, and that one's ready to go. You want to try not to walk on your crops. If you have to move on your crops, I've been told that if you use the shift key and you maneuver over them, it does not damage them. I haven't done a lot of testing with that, but I believe that to be true. Now I need water here, so that's really going to be the next thing. I need to fill this with water. So I'm going to get my buckets. And what I've been doing is it's kind of a onerous procedure, I guess, or time consuming here. I did create an endless water pool here at one point that did allow me to take water, and then I kind of broke it after I was playing around with my water pool here. But what I'm trying to do is fill these at the corner with water, but you see how it kind of moves down. Now, I technically, as long as I fill the whole thing, could be okay. As long as the whole piece is filled, it should give water and saturate these areas. But if you want to make it look like this standing water, I need to fill buckets of water and put one of those buckets in each one of these spots. Okay? So I'm just basically going back and forth, filling another bucket and moving it to another spot, and that allows me to make the water look kind of like that. If I like the running water look, then I can go ahead and do that, and if not, then I'll make it look like this. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pause here, and I'll finish the water bucket part, and then I'll come back and we'll finish planting the crops, and our farm will be done. Okay, throughout the night I was able to finish the farm part. I did plant as much seeds as I had. So what I did... Oh, that's not good. No. I have no idea why that spider attacked me. Alright. What I do need to do is collect more seeds, so I'm going to have to go and use the hoe on more grass. I will plant the rest of these, and then the farm will be good. After that, I'm going to finish stocking the chests here with equipment that I need, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave this area and begin to explore the rest of this world. My hoe, I have 14. That may be enough. I've been collecting leather, so I'm going to go ahead and... Nope. You know what's interesting to me is Notch. I've been reading a lot of stuff from his blog, and he's always talking about when he travels, he finds a really good steakhouse, and he always gets a really big steak. And yet, in the game, you can't get steak from cows. So I wonder why. I wonder if he'll change that at some point to allow us to get some steak from the cows, which would be awesome. Let's go ahead and plant this real quick. Okay, so we're just kind of scratching the surface of some of the things you can do, but this is what I do as far as being a basic setup for my initial area. Another thing you might do is if you're going to be worried about, if you're going to be in this area a lot, and you're going to worry about skeletons and things like this happening, because before, spiders couldn't climb over a fence. So as you can see, usually monsters can't come over a fence, but I think in the latest edition, Notch made it so spiders can climb, I believe. So that is going to pose some new gameplay issues with those of us trying to survive in the world. Oh, I still need 5 more seeds. And we have a completed farm. So this will be perfect for food production as I'm gone, and I'll be able to use that if I die and lose all of my tools and implements, you know, while I'm a long way from home and exploring, which I like to do. And I'll have this farm. I have my tree fort with the bed. I have my stone quarry, and this will be my starting area that I know I can always come back to and always start again.